Hello everyone, my name is Meghna KP and I am a final year BA Functional English student. Welcome to E-Content Development Center, Majlis Arts and Science College. Today I am going to introduce you to a topic from the subject Film Studies, which is film genres. After this presentation, you will be able to understand what exactly a film genre is and how they are classified. First of all, let's try to understand what is a film genre. Genre is originally a French word which means kind, category or type. It is the way movies are classified based on narrative elements, visual or aesthetic approach or the emotional response to the film. As we all know, before watching a movie, we check what its genre is so that we know what to expect. Thus, we understand that genres establish a tonal expectation for the viewer as well as for the screenwriter. Now, let's move on to the different types of film genres. Film genres are divided into two, major genres and other genres. Major genres are further divided into three, which are narrative, avant-garde and documentary. The other genres include thriller, melodrama, musical, horror western, fantasy animation, film noir, expressionist, historical and road movies. The first of the major genres is called narrative or fictional genre. Basically, this means that the movie is based on a fictional story. The stories are written in a believable way and the characters act out the story as realistically as possible to convince the audience that everything they are watching is real. As you could expect, most films can be grouped under this category. Avant-garde is known as experimental films. It means faux-garde in French. It deviates itself from cinematic conventions. This means that it is not shot like a normal movie. There is something different about it. It explores non-narrative forms or alternatives to traditional narratives. Originally, this term was used to categorize films which were shot in 1920s France, Russia and Germany. Filmmaking is a billion-dollar industry, but avant-garde filmmakers do not want profits. They make such films to artistically express themselves. Next, we have documentary films. Simply put, a documentary film is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document reality, primarily for the purpose of education, instruction or maintaining a physical record. These are very informative and are often used in schools for educational purposes. Before, documentaries were called actuality films and they were shorter than a minute. But today, a documentary is longer in length and has its own categories like educational documentaries, observational documentaries and docufilms. A thriller film, a suspense film or suspense thriller is a film genre that evokes excitement and suspense in the audience. The filmmaker exploits the element of suspense in this genre. Tension is created by delaying an event that the audience is waiting for and is built through menacing adventures which seems to have no escape. Thriller movies generally cover up important information from the viewer, have fight and chase scenes, or the characters' lives are in danger without them knowing. The protagonist usually set against a problem such as an escape, a mission or a mystery. Melodrama films are more emotional in nature. They depend on stereotyped character development, interactions and highly emotional themes. A melodramatic film plot includes many themes like crisis of human emotion, failed romance or friendship, strained familial relations, tragedy, mental or physical illness, emotional or physical hardship. In the end, these issues are resolved through endurance, sacrifice and bravery. A musical film, as the name suggests, is when singing and dancing is included in the narrative. The songs could either advance the plot or serve as breaks in the storyline. The backgrounds and locations of a musical film are lavish. Musical films remind us of the theatre because actors perform as if a live audience were watching. Horror Western combines elements of Western culture with other genres, which could be horror, occult, or science fiction. When horror elements are used in a Western setting, it creates the horror Western. The characters are usually nomadic cowboys or a gunfighter who rides a horse. Animated films are made by animating individual illustrations frame by frame. The stories are from fantasy genre, where the story is set in a fictional universe inspired by myth and folklore. The story writer writes the story and the animator animates the story. Computer animation has taken animation into the next level. Film noir is a genre of film with pessimism, fatalism, and cynicism as themes. Noir means black in French, so it translates to black cinema. The movies are very dark and pessimistic. These movies were popular during the era of World War II, when audience wanted a more vivid, fresh, and adult-oriented type of cinema. Such movie plots usually include anti-hero protagonists, femme fatale, tight and concise dialogue, high contrast within a scene, or post-war disillusionment. Expressionist films convey emotional and psychological states rather than showing the real world. It has distorting and exaggerated angles, intense color, and a sense of terror and foreboding. Expressionist cinema was developed in the 1920s Germany using unnatural set design and dark themes. The historical film or period drama is a genre in which stories are based upon historical events and famous people. Docudramas is a type of historical film where history is accurately portrayed. Some other historical films combine fiction with history. Such movies usually have themes of war, romance, or adventure. A road movie is a genre where the main characters leave home on a road trip, which changes their perspective from normal lives. But the movie is not completely shot in a car, but also in booths and of diners and roadside motels, which creates intimacy and tension between the characters. Road movies mostly focus on the theme of masculinity, some type of rebellion, car culture, or self-discovery. The main theme of road movies is rebellion against the conservative social norms. The way such movies are narrated are usually disorganized and open-ended. This marks the end of my topic. I hope you understood my topic well. Thank you for listening to my lecture. Happy learning!